Welcome to the video tutorial on the basic configuration of the CAME RBE Plus control panel for access control. The access control system from CAME using the RBE Plus offers a wide range of possibilities. It ranges from managing temporary guests at a bed and breakfast to handling more complex sites such as ports, companies and industries, where systems with multiple RBE Plus control panels may be required. To best explain the features, we will configure an example system called CAME Factory. This represents a building dedicated to offices and common areas. The four outputs of the RBE Plus control four different doors. Output 1 is associated with the main door, Output 2 with the training office door, Output 3 with the service office door, and Output 4 with the technical room door. Two inputs have been used, each associated with a local button. The first to open the main door from the inside, and the second to control the automation linked to the RBE Plus via the CRP protocol, which operates the gate opening. There is also a transponder selector that manages the gate opening via a badge assigned to the reception, and a keypad selector for opening the main door and the training office door using a code. We will also configure a dedicated top remote control for the company that performs maintenance on the technical systems, which will be used to open the main door and the technical room door. Let's proceed with associating the CAME RBE Plus control panel to the Wi-Fi gateway. Let's see how to customize our CAME Factory installation. For example, we can associate an image and, of course, also an address. In this case, it's the address of the CAME Factory headquarters. Once the customization is done, we save the settings using the button at the bottom of the page. To effectively connect an automation system, and therefore our advanced RBE Plus control panel, to the Wi-Fi gateway device, you simply need to select the specific ACWI-FI gateway from the available options. Then, proceed to press the clearly labeled Add Automation button. Subsequently, within the model row or the designated section, carefully search for the particular desired automation system you wish to integrate. Here we find the RBE Plus 4-channel outdoor module. We assign a name, for example simply RBE Plus, a description, and confirm. The device will be correctly associated with the AC Wi-Fi gateway. Our web page, and therefore CAME Connect, will respond by creating messages or notifications. Now, let's configure the four outputs on the RBE Plus control panel and the two inputs being used. Let's now see how to customize the inputs and outputs. At the bottom of the page, click on the pencil icon and assign names to the outputs. For example, Output 1 is the main door, the training door is Output 2. For output number 3, we will assign the comprehensive description, service office, and for output number 4, we will clearly indicate the detailed description, technical room. Confirm with the dedicated button. We notice that the descriptions at the bottom of the page have changed. Let's now proceed to navigate to the settings menu where we will carefully select the outputs panel. Within this section, we are able to meticulously configure each individual output with its specific polarization, the precise output mode, and then subsequently choose the appropriate timing, ultimately setting an output time of exactly 5 seconds. This comprehensive configuration ensures optimal performance and precise control over each output channel. Since these are the essential doors for all the various outputs, we will meticulously replicate the exact same settings for output number 2, output number 3, and output number 4. We carefully confirm everything by pressing the Save button and patiently wait for the operation to fully complete. Now, let's proceed to carefully select the inputs menu, which is precisely where we will determine how the incoming signal input should be appropriately polarized, and also what the resulting output and the automation mask will ultimately be. Keep in mind that the blue box means that only that output or automation will be controlled and visible, while all the others will be masked. So the white ones will be masked. Input 1 meticulously controls only output 1, while input 2 exclusively manages automation A. In our current example, let's proceed to disable input 3 and input 4 because they are not presently being utilized, and subsequently, we will save the current configuration to ensure all changes are permanently applied. We can easily and thoroughly double-check all of our current settings by carefully scrolling through the entire menu that we just previously observed. Let's proceed with configuring an automation connected to the RBE Plus control board via the CRP protocol, CAME remote protocol. Now, let us carefully observe how to effectively add an automation feature to the RBE Plus control board. You simply need to precisely press the manual automation scan button, which is conveniently located from the device's dedicated web page. You'll notice that the scan starts automatically and will search for automations connected via the CRP CAME remote protocol. It is important to note that a maximum of 4 automations can be connected to the RBE Plus via CRP. There are 3 distinct wires with terminals labeled A, B, and ground, where A and B function as the primary bus lines, while ground serves as a straightforward, direct wire connection. Here, the automation we connected to our control board has been found, and by pressing the pencil button, we can rename it. Instead of the automatically suggested description and name, in our example we enter main entrance. We confirm with the appropriate button and check that the settings have been applied. We configure the 2 bus selectors used, a keypad selector and a transponder selector, by associating the managed services and adding a badge that we will assign to the reception. Let's proceed with the configuration of the connected selectors. In our case, a transponder selector and a keypad. Specifically, we can configure them in the settings menu and then under bus selectors. In our case and in our example, we will associate selector 1 with the ability to control outputs 1 and 2, the others will be masked. Whereas for selector 2, we will control only automation AE, that is the main entrance. Let's save our settings using the dedicated button at the bottom of the page. We then move to the Access Devices menu to acquire the codes, in this case, numeric codes from the keypad, that users will enter to gain access. Let's assign a name to the code that we are going to assign to the training employee. We meticulously associate the specific function in this particular example, effectively controlling the main entrance door and the dedicated training office door, and then subsequently enter the precise numeric code. At this crucial point, the unique and personalized code for the training employee is meticulously configured and set up for immediate use. Let's see how to register a badge. In this case, the reading is done simply by passing the badge in front of the transponder selector. By carefully clicking and then precisely selecting it within the comprehensive menu, we can thoroughly customize it, specifically detailing and specifying that it will be permanently assigned to the main reception area. The primary function, instead, will be to effectively control the main entrance, ensuring a complete and full opening for all access requirements. We confirm to save these changes. Now let's register a remote control that will be assigned to the company responsible for the maintenance of the technical systems at CAME factory, configuring it so that it opens both the main door and the technical room door. Now let's add a remote control by acquiring the code, simply by pressing the desired button on the remote itself. We can see that the remote control has been added to the list. We can click the pencil icon to customize its configuration, for example by assigning it the name Maintenance Team. We confirm to save the setting. We can also clearly observe that button 1 is prominently displayed within the comprehensive list. In this particular manner as well, we are able to conveniently click the small pencil icon to meticulously customize its detailed description and its precise function. In our specific scenario, button 1 will exclusively operate the primary main door. We confirm the settings we have entered. Since this particular remote control is specifically associated, in our practical example, with the dedicated maintenance team, we will also proceed to carefully add a second, additional button. So, we will meticulously acquire and then securely pair it, exactly as we diligently did before, but this time, its primary purpose will be to effectively open the technical room door, providing convenient and secure access to that specific area. We access the configuration, assign a description, and associate the relevant output, which is output 4 of the RBE Plus, corresponding to the technical room. Now, from the list of buttons used on our remote control, it will be possible to recognize their function as well. Now let's look at the section regarding the creation of groups and the programming of access control, as well as the management of temporary access. Let's see how RBE Plus allows you to manage access control functionality. From the main page of the RBE Plus, we first see that by selecting Access Control, a pop-up appears explaining what can be done within this menu. Here we find 3 different sections: Groups, Weekly Scheduling, and Special Scheduling. Let's begin by exploring our practical example, which is specifically tailored for maintenance workers, focusing on the crucial task of effectively managing their weekly schedule. In this particular scenario, we will clearly identify this schedule as being for maintenance workers. We will then proceed to designate Saturday as the primary day of the week for this schedule. Furthermore, we will precisely set the start time for their work to be 7 a.m., and subsequently, the end time will be established as 1 p.m., ensuring a clear and structured workday. This way, the maintenance workers will be able to enter and access the building between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. on Saturday morning. We have a clear and informative pop-up notification that effectively indicates the correct and proper configuration of this weekly scheduling system. We can also easily add an extraordinary and unique schedule, which we will specifically call Summer Closure, and this comes with the crucial and important option to completely deny access. Why? Because during the company's August shutdown period, from the 2nd to the 18th of August, the company will be closed, and therefore even the maintenance workers will not be able to access it. For the start and end times, we'll keep those suggested by the system. Here, we can clearly observe and note that it is also entirely possible to effectively manage and oversee up to a total of 16 extraordinary, unique, and special schedules, along with 16 distinct and individual weekly schedules, as well as a comprehensive set of 8 different groups. Let's go ahead and add our maintenance group. At this particular point, after carefully assigning the designated name, we can then proceed to effectively associate a comprehensive weekly schedule, specifically the one we have just meticulously created, which is aptly named Maintenance, and also an additional Extraordinary schedule. Here as well, we will manage and associate the summer closure. At the permission level, we notice that a summary of the settings we are assigning is displayed on the page. If everything is correct, we confirm to apply the settings related to this group. Moving to the dedicated user menu, we will meticulously customize the remote control specifically assigned to the diligent maintenance staff, so that the various commands are actually and precisely associated with the particular group we have just created, namely the essential maintenance group, from which it will inherently inherit the full range of functions and the comprehensive schedule we have just carefully assigned. We will do the same for the second button assigned to that remote control, which accesses the technical room, and here too, we will add the maintenance group. Once again, the pop-up will indicate that the operation we have just performed was completed successfully. Within the user menu, it is also possible to add a temporary visitor, to whom, for example, we will assign a code to be entered on the keypad to independently access the main entrance door. So, in this particular instance, we will proceed to set the access type as a keypad, assign the designated name, visitor, and the primary function will be to grant authorized access through the main entrance point. The code we will assign is 5555. We won't assign any group, but we will enable temporary access. Why? Because our visitor client will be here at the company from Tuesday the 27th to Thursday the 29th. Once everything is confirmed, we will save these settings. Of course, when the client arrives at the reception for the first time, they will be given this code, which they can then use independently. Let's proceed by setting up a schedule that will keep the main door open in the morning, making it easier for employees to enter during working days. We will also configure a scenario dedicated to the maintenance of the technical systems. Let's now proceed to set up a new timer. From the dedicated and comprehensive menu of the RBE Plus system, we will carefully select the timers option and then proceed to add a brand new one. In our specific example, we meticulously select the particular days of the week, ranging from Monday all the way through to Friday. Concurrently, the precise time frame is carefully set from 7:45 in the morning to 8:15 in the morning. Therefore, the designated starting time is precisely 7:45 a.m., and the designated ending time is exactly 8:15 a.m. To operate the main entrance door, obviously, to open it, you would typically use the designated controls. We confirm the settings we've entered. Output 1 of the RBE Plus will therefore remain open automatically, every single day from Monday to Friday, from 7:45 in the morning to 8:15 in the morning. It is also possible to manage scenarios from the dedicated menu in the left sidebar of our CAME Connect website by selecting Scenarios and adding a new scenario. We dedicate this one to maintenance, to allow maintenance colleagues access to the technical area. Once the scenario has been named, we proceed to configure the various possible actions. In our specific operational scenario, we have carefully selected and designated that the primary control device, which will be actively managed and monitored, is the RBE Plus. Furthermore, the precise and defined type of action that will be executed is a command, a specific directive that is meticulously designed to exclusively and directly target the technical room, which houses critical infrastructure and essential equipment for the facility's operations. The name of the newly created event will therefore be access to the technical area. We can also add a schedule to this scenario, which will allow the technical area, and thus the door to the technical room, to be opened for maintenance colleagues. Once again, the scheduling can be customized. We assign the name Technical Area Work. The specific scenario that will be called is maintenance, and we have carefully set a precise schedule from April 1st at 3 p.m. until April 5th. If we wish, we can also assign a distinct color to easily identify the various schedules we can create, so that we can visually recognize them. We can also assign or add a recurrence, for example, every 3 days if it's a daily occurrence, ensuring consistent and automated scheduling. In this particular case, to fully complete the entire configuration process, we can effectively add any necessary exclusions, and once the scheduling arrangement is firmly confirmed as we have meticulously set it up, we can then conveniently view it along with a comprehensive summary of the various important details it precisely contains. Everything will also be visible on the calendar. Now let's see how to manage and view access logs, which must first be enabled from the Functions menu of the CAME RBE Plus control board. Another important feature provided by the RBE Plus is the Events menu. First of all, let's go to the Settings menu, select Functions, and enable the event log, saving the new configuration. From the Access Log page, it will then be possible to view all events related to the RBE Plus. We can conveniently filter our data by specifying a precise start date and time, as well as an exact end date and time. Additionally, you have the option to select a particular control device if such a specific requirement arises. In our specific example, the unique codes that are carefully entered via the keypad are then used for the purpose of updating the comprehensive list and, if it is absolutely necessary, also effectively filtering the results by the particular type of event of interest. This comprehensive history can also be conveniently exported to a CSV file for your records. In the following section, we will see how the CAME RBE Plus control board can be used to easily and effectively manage permissions for temporary clients. They will be able to execute opening commands for the services managed in the example system directly from a web page, without the need to create any account or use specific apps. To take advantage of the permission management feature, the installer must first transfer the system to the owner. From the list of installations, you need to click the button that allows you to perform this action, filling in all the required fields, email, first and last name, and then confirm everything. The CAME Connect platform will automatically send an email to the customer, that is, to the new owner. Upon successfully receiving the email notification, the new owner simply needs to carefully click on the clearly labeled Accept Transfer button. By thoroughly checking their CAME Connect profile, users will be able to clearly and easily see that a new installation is now prominently visible and fully accessible when accessing the platform. This ensures that all recent updates and additions are immediately apparent to the user, providing a seamless and informative experience as they navigate their personalized dashboard and review their connected services and devices. In fact, the CAME factory is now visible as the first installation in the list on the owner's CAME Connect page. This ensures easy identification and access for the owner. The owner or administrator of the system can customize the email that will be sent to the end customer, inviting them to perform actions on that system. You simply need to click on the Customize Email button to add an image, selecting it from your own personal computer. This process allows you to easily personalize your email with visual content. The name of the system, on the other hand, will already be present by default because it is linked to the selected installation. Let's add a phone number. Let's proceed to meticulously add the essential website address, a primary and easily accessible email address, and a complete, valid physical address for our establishment. If it becomes necessary or beneficial, within the designated extra information field, we have the valuable option to thoughtfully include other highly useful and pertinent notes for the esteemed customer who will be receiving the email, specifically to assist them in effortlessly reaching our facility. These notes could encompass detailed directions, prominent landmarks, or even specific instructions for arrival. Upon the thorough and satisfactory completion of all the desired customization adjustments, we will then confidently click the prominent Confirm button to securely save all the meticulously configured settings and preferences that we have just carefully made and implemented. A pop-up will appear to indicate that the information has been saved correctly. Now let's look at how the owner can manage the permission. First, select the Permissions menu from the left sidebar. Click on Add Permission to access a page divided into 3 sections, where you can customize the invitation for the client. First, you need to accurately enter the client's complete first name and their corresponding last name. Following this, continue by carefully entering the client's primary email address, an optional field for a detailed description, and then select the preferred language in which the invitation email to the client will be meticulously written. By clicking the Next button, you will seamlessly move on to the crucial step of scheduling the invitation itself. Here, you are able to precisely specify the relevant time zone for your particular event or setting, the exact start date when the activity will commence, the precise start time at which it will begin, the definitive expiration date indicating when the activity will conclude, and the specific expiration time marking its final end. By clicking Next, we reach the third configuration page for the permission, where we can associate the commands that the client will be allowed to execute. In this specific case, they will be able to open the training office door and the main door. On this page, we have the option to view a summary of the properties of that permission, which will also be directly visible in the calendar menu. The invited client will receive an email from CAME Connect with the subject line showing the name of the system they have been invited to. Inside the email, there will be the PIN code, a summary of the access validity, and the authorization to control the assigned outputs. By pressing the Access button, a screen with a virtual keyboard will appear, where you can enter the received PIN code. If the PIN code is correct, the screen will automatically display the buttons enabled for controlling the outputs assigned to that CAME customer. By pressing one of these buttons, the web page will display a notification related to the execution of the command. The PIN code received by email can also be used on the enabled physical keyboard installed near the entrance door. If comprehensive event logs have also been meticulously enabled, then from the dedicated access log page, it will be entirely possible to continuously monitor and thoroughly view any and all accesses made by the specifically invited customer, providing a complete and detailed audit trail. It is also entirely possible to effectively monitor that specific customer's accesses by carefully filtering and thoroughly searching for the invited customer by their unique name, thereby ensuring comprehensive oversight. For more information, we invite you to consult the technical documentation website at docs.came.com. We hope this has been helpful and thank you for choosing CAME for your access control system.